What's your favorite scary movie?
Welcome to the complete Ghostface guide. In this video, I'm going to give you guys the best tips and tricks with Ghostface that also includes basic gameplay and advanced techniques, and hopefully something new that you didn't know about Ghostface. His power, Night Shroud. Ghostface is granted with the undetectable status, meaning that he has 0 terror radius and no red stain. This is very crucial, especially once you get into the high ranks. A lot of survivors depend on the red stain seeing where the killer is at all times while they're looping, so this is why Ghostface is considered to be mid-tier at most times. The fact that you can hide your red stain is very, very good, and the fact that you can hide your terror radius and sneak up on people and get a first hit makes Ghostface a threat. One of his special abilities, Stalk. When he fully stalk a survivor to 100%, a survivor will become marked. This will apply the exposed status effect for 45 seconds, but you can also add more time with certain add-ons. But remember, when you hit a survivor, whatever progression you let them on will reset because you hit them. While stalking, there is a decreased time while you're standing still in stalking. This is not how you're supposed to play Ghostface. Unlike Myers, who just stands there and stalk, Ghostface's power is better when you lean. While leaning, he stalks way faster ×2 than a regular one. You can lean on almost anything that the game allows you to. Lockers, gens, rocks, windows. There's also another technique that I call gliding, which I will be explaining later what that really means on Ghostface. His other special ability, Crouch. Ghostface moves a lot slower when he's obviously crouching to at 3.6 milliseconds. So you're losing a little bit of your speed. But the good thing about Ghostface compared to like somebody like the Pig, who could also crouch, is that he has no cooldown. While Pig has a long cooldown while crouching, Ghostface, you can crouch as much as you want. You can use this crouch ability for a lot of great things. You can use it to bait people that have dead heart, sprint bursts, pallets. There's so many ideas to use this crouch ability other than just teabagging. Even though I know a lot of you guys like to teabag, so you finally have a killer that can teabag those toxic survivors that you always get. Ghostface can be revealed by survivors within a range of 32 meters, but the thing is that survivors need to see at least 20% of Ghostface's body within a center of 26% of the player's screen for at least 1.5 seconds, meaning that they literally have to look at you to break it. But again, this is why a lot of people don't like Ghostface, is because it's very dependent on dedicated servers. If it's good, they'll break you out faster. If it's not good, they're gonna take a while to break you out. So it all depends on the connection, but that they have to really be up close to you. One of the best things about Ghostface is that he can stalk up to 40 meters. So you have that extra 8 meters on them to stalk them before they can even break you out. I have done this multiple times where they're literally far away from me. They're trying to break me out, but they don't understand that they need to be 32. Most likely they were around 40 meters of me stalking them. One thing that people don't understand about the stalking is like, when do I stalk and when do I don't stalk? The right times to stalk, in my opinion, is when you know for a fact you have a great angle. A lot of people like to approach straight up to the gen and start stalking. They're gonna see you. Try to find an angle that you think you can stalk them from. Either if it's high places, behind a rock, crouching. There's so many different ways to stalk somebody on a gen or they're healing without revealing yourself so obvious. For an example, as you can see right here, I'm not gonna stand up, because if I stand up, he's gonna be able to see me. I rather use through the cracks to stalk people. While it is gonna take a little bit longer, I'm very unnoticeable and I don't reveal myself so easily to get breaking out. This is very good because not that many Ghostface players know about these little spots. If it has a crack, you can stalk through it. Oh, I can't wait for those comments. The best place for me that I think that a lot of Ghostface players don't do is that they don't stalk from high places. Not only can you get an idea where they're at, remember 40 meters, you can stalk them to up to 40 meters. You have to look at the bottom left of your bar. If one little percentage pops up on the bottom left, that means whatever direction you were looking at, they're over there, and you can go either get a one hit or you can stalk them down. Not that many people know about this trick. Say for instance, you stalk somebody from whatever 60 to 80 to 90%, and they jump in a locker, or you grab them. You can actually drop them down and keep that progression. I really don't recommend this because I don't think I've ever had any good value of just letting them go. I just would rather hook them. But if you have like a plan, maybe a bait, maybe it's a 2-man that you've been trying to find, they pick them back up with a fully healed, and then you can one tap them again. I guess that's the only way I can see it. But again, that's just a little trick that not that many people know about it. Ghostface power, it takes about 30 seconds to get back without any recovery add-ons. We will talk about more add-ons in a second, but just let you know that his default time without any recovery add-ons is 30 seconds, which is really long, and I really wish it would be 20 by default. But as of right now, it is 30 seconds to get your power back. But the cool thing about the standing stalking that not that many people know about is gliding. Sliding is another word that people call it. While you're doing this, you can move your body and still get that ×2 stalking rate, which makes it way faster for you and you don't have to move the spot. It can be very janky, again, depending on the dedicated servers, but at most times I find some really good use out of this when you glide. There's the far distance stalking. While it's a lot slower, there are add-ons to help you out with this. It still works, but it's going to take a while. I find this more useful on the farm maps because there's a lot of corn, and between the cracks of the corns, you can stalk people through those little areas and they cannot see you. It's effectively, but it's going to take a while. But this lets you know you can far distance stalk somebody. The last one is crouch stalking, which is my favorite. Remember, they need to see 20% of your body to break you out. So while you're crouching and stalking, that reduces it a lot. They cannot break you out. And one of the most effectively way you could use his crouching is on certain maps like Ironworks of Misery, where you can hide between these boxes, rocks. Again, there's going to be times where you don't have your power back. So when you're crouching, they have no idea where you're at. Remember, the survivor has a third-person view. They see you if you're standing tall and walking. But if you're crouching, they have no idea where you're at. You're like, okay, where is he? Like, I hear the terror radius, but I don't see him. And it's because you're crouching behind certain rocks. It's also a good way to wait for your nitro to come back. So while you're crouching and you see your progression coming back, they have no idea where you're at because, again, you're crouching, you're hiding behind rocks, and they're looking around like, okay, where is he at? But I also don't recommend that you crouch all the way to a gen, to another gen or whatever. You know, like, you know, some pig players do that. I recommend not doing that because you will lose a lot of time and gens will fly. Again, I only recommend crouching when you feel like you're close enough to approach a gen to get off a stock or you get off the first hit. The crouching is also very effectively in loops because you can hide yourself from certain maps that have like a rock with a pallet and a tree. Like some of the Macmillan maps, you can crouch and they have no idea where you're at. So I always tell you to do the 1, 2, 3 wait. So while you're crouching, they have no idea what you're doing. Survivors are always looking at one direction, whatever you're lucky. This is all based off luck, but the way I do it, and a lot of people are like, how do you know that they're not looking at that area? I do the 1, 2, 3 wait. When the survivor's looking at forward of a pallet, they are wondering, is he behind me? That's 1 second, 2 seconds, and 3, the wait, the hit. So that whenever you do that, count to 1, 2, and then whatever direction you're gonna look at, that's where you wanna hit them because they have no idea where you're at because you're crouching again. But to be fair, it doesn't work that well when you have a red light. Some survivors use stretch res or like play on very low settings, so they'll still be able to see your red light. But again, it's all like the luck of the draw when you do these type of things, but it works almost all the time. A little sneaky trick that not that many people use for the crouching technique is that when it comes to the last survivor and the hatch standoff, while in cloak mode, in your night trap mode, you can hide your terror radius and crouch on the hatch. Just make sure you're on the hatch where it says close hatch. Therefore, what this happens is that the survivor will be looking for the hatch and has no idea you're there because, again, you're hiding your terror radius and you can close the hatch in front of them. I've done this on stream multiple times and it's hilarious. The only time that this doesn't work is if the survivor has spine chill. But if you have a perk like Whispers, which I will tell you a little bit more how it works later, this can help you out big time to find out the survivor is if he's looking for the hatch or is he at the door. So that's one of the best things you can do, a sneaky hatch close off, I guess you would like to call that. The best tips I can give you to not get revealed: 1, don't do the most logical thing. Don't cloak when you just hook the person. When you just down the person, you need to make sure that you're behind an object, then cloak. The best example I could give this is I hook somebody and I see a rock in front of me. I go crouch underneath it, and then I go my nitro mode, my stealth mode, because that's the best way to use it. The person won't break you out, and if somebody's nearby you, they're going to alert you with these little sound alerts telling you a direction. They're this way, they're that way. Ghostface isn't always about stalking. He has one of the strongest mechanics in the game, and again, that's hiding the red stain. By doing this, you can catch a lot of survivors off guard. One thing I like to do, it's called the possum play. The possum play has gotten me so many easy downs, and it's funny when it happens. It doesn't work all the time, but just remember that you only use this at a time that you feel like you can catch the survivor off guard. It works the best at jungle gyms or almost anywhere, but it works the best at jungle gyms. You can go hide behind a wall, go in stealth mode, and wait for them. Hear the footsteps or the grunts they make if they're injured, and take it easy down. The reason why this works so well is because Ghostface, again, hides his terror radius and hides his red stain. Again, the only way this doesn't work is if the survivor has spine chill, because they'll know that you're looking at their direction. or object as well. So we'll be talking about those 3 perks that are your worst enemies in a second. Ghostface add-ons are not great. There's only one type of add-ons you want to use, and that's recovery time. Everything else is more just about gimmicks. Like, nobody cares about crouching movement speed, but hey, if you have them, you have nothing else, rock it. These are his best add-ons. And the best thing about them, they're not purple and they're not pink, meaning they might show up in your blood web more. You have the Chew Pen, which is 8 seconds off. Then you have the Address Book, which is 6 seconds off. And then you have the Matchbook, which is 4 seconds. If you really want to dominate with Ghostface, these are the 2 best add-ons right now to run. The green Chew Pen and then the yellow Address Book. This turns Ghostface from 30 seconds to 16 seconds, which is holy shit, right? It's amazing. This makes Ghostface sometimes from mid-tier to high-tier. Just the fact that you have your power instantly, that means you can get more surprise hits. That means you can stalk faster now. I personally think that Ghostface default should be 20, and some of his add-ons need to be reworked to like different ideas because nobody cares. Crouching speed does not give you anything. 30 seconds to default to 60 seconds makes you insane. Now, here's the big trick that not that many Ghostface players know. The need technique. The need technique will almost guarantee you to never get revealed unless they're up in your face. The best way I can explain this from both point of views is from a survivor's point of view. If they can see your knee sticking out or like half your leg, they can reveal you from 32 meters or 20 meters. When Ghostface is not showing his knee, that's when you cannot reveal Ghostface. That's why I say I like crouch stalking more. You can do this standing up, but it's better to crouch stalk than standing up leaning. So you're asking yourself, how can I know that I'm doing the knee trick, Jaee? The best way I can make an example is this right here. As you can tell from the picture right here, you need to show half of your face. So if you know that you're showing half of your face, that means you are doing the knee stalk. If you're showing full of your face, your mask, they can reveal you. So just remember, the knee trick is all about showing half of your face of Ghostface. They cannot reveal you if you're showing half of your face, aka the knee trick. Ghostface's biggest weakness are a lot of the same things like almost any other killer. Spine Chill, Object of Obsession, Sprint Burst, Kindred. These are the perks that are gonna really push you to the limits, especially how Spine Chill is so meta now that what it does, it tells the survivor that you're coming at their direction from 32 meters. So again, I feel that survivors should not get any notification if a killer is in stealth mode, like Peg, Wraith, Ghostface, you know, the gif of it. I don't think it should work, but again, who knows if they're ever gonna change that. But just know that even if object, they cannot see you if you're in stealth mode, their object turns into Spine Chill, meaning that they know that you're looking at them. So again, Spine Chill, object are your biggest weakness because they know when you're coming regardless. So that's what you're gonna have to deal with. Playing Ghostface in red ranks is really difficult. Not that many people play them because of these 2 perks. Sprint Burst, because say if you mark somebody and you're about to reach them and they get that notification that you exposed them, they're gonna Sprint Burst away. Kindred, obviously, they're gonna know that you're around that area if you're crouching. The only time it doesn't work is if you're in stealth mode, but again, the person on the hook can reveal you. Those are basically the basics of Ghostface. It's a lot, but I wanted to make sure that you guys understand the simple basics of Ghostface. Now, here are some tips and tricks. One of the best tricks that a lot of people don't do is the Killer Shack stalking. There are 2 things that you could do at the Killer Shack with Ghostface. One, you can stalk between the cracks that I think a lot of people understand. You could do this from far distance. There's even times where there's a tree that you can stalk off and stalk somebody on the gen. The other one that people don't do, that I don't see a lot of Ghostface players do, the pallet stalking. The pallet stalking, you can do it almost anywhere that has a pallet that has a wall next to it. So the way you do this is that you bait them to drop the pallet. Then you grab the wall and you stalk them. Remember, you can crouch and hide them. The reason why it works the best at Shack Pallet is because most times they're going to run away from you because they have a huge distance from dropping the Shack Pallet, is that you're going to have a good chunk on them and then you can 99 one-tap them later on when you find them. Don't ever feel mad that you didn't fully stalk them. There's always next time when you catch them off guard. One thing I like to do a lot is the sneak stalking. It works great with a certain perk called Whispers. Whispers is going to help you get better as Ghostface because you're going to know where to stalk and when not to stalk. So let me explain how Whispers works. All right, so this is going to be another way for me to explain Whispers for the people. Again, do not listen to the audio cue. You want to look at the icon itself. Once it lights up, that means somebody is in your terrarius. So this is what happens in the more logical way to explain it, is that you're walking up forward and boom, there's a survivor right in front of your rim, which that means is that they're more likely to be on the edge of the rim of your of your whispers, meaning that if it never went off, that means there's nobody around you. Obviously, if it just went off like right away, that means they're obviously this far distance from the 32 meters. So that's probably the best time to start crouching with whispers to see where they're at. But then again, it's up to you if you don't want to waste time or not. They won't know you have whispers unless it's like near the end game and they're like, this person doesn't leave the area. So that's the only time smart survivors will know that you do have whispers. Some of the worst Ghostface maps are any of the farm maps. It's really hard to stalk people through corn, but you can still manage it if there's a gent in the cornfield. I've done this multiple times where you can get a really clean stalk, but most survivors who have spine chill again can just know that you're coming and it ruins it. And one of his worst maps is actually a auto haven map. Not all auto haven maps are bad on Ghostface, but this one particular is really bad on him. It's Blood Lodge. The reason why Blood Lodge is the worst map for Ghostface is because the whole center field has nothing you can stalk off. There is some that you can stalk off like a gen, but you are going to get revealed. I guess my only advice for this map, you want to play outside the map as much as possible so that you can try to get a stalk off. It's really hard. Any Ghostface mains would tell you that this is one of the hardest maps for Ghostface. So if you lose on this map, don't feel bad. Some of his best maps are my favorite. Asylums. Both of the asylums, the chapel and all that, are great for Ghostface. You can get so much stalking from high different places. Also, there's walls, there's trees. There's not that many pallets on these maps. These are some of his best maps in my opinion. Obviously, indoor maps are almost good on any killer, but that's where he's best at. One thing that people don't know is that Ghostface cosmetics actually play a huge part in the game for him. The default skin that you come with is actually a really bad outfit on him. Why? Because there are times where his ribbons, I don't know what they call them, they stick out whenever you're leaning. Sometimes they go through the walls of the shack, or sometimes they'll go through like certain objects and they just stick out a lot. It's not much of the outfit. It's actually his mask that plays the part. The white Ghostface mask, the classic or the default one, it's very easy to spot from a far distance. But there's times where I played against Twitch streamers and I see their point of view of whenever I play the white Ghostface mask compared to the best mask, in my opinion, is the devil one or the chrome one, which comes second. Those masks are really hard to tell from a far distance. When you have the devil mask, especially on the corn map, they cannot spot you if you're stalking them. It is really hard to see where Ghostface is at with the devil mask. My favorite outfit is obviously the devil mask with the devil outfit. I just think it's the best one. It looks the most pleasing and it doesn't give away your position a lot. There's this thing called the one tap or 99 in them, meaning that the person that you left alone are going to be for later on. So if I stalk this person, which you see I have a progression bar on already, that means that they're pretty much one tap, meaning that the next time I see this Dwight, I'm gonna one tap him, just stalk him down and get an easy down. This is great whenever you leave somebody alone. Say for instance they had like D-strike or something and you just want to leave them alone or you don't want to tunnel them. You can stalk them and be like, I'll catch you later, which I end up doing right here. I caught this Dwight later after he was fully healed. That is called the one tap, or other people would say it, I 99 them. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the builds. What's the best Ghostface build? Obviously, add-ons. Again, run double recovery. There's no other add-ons that I recommend. The other ones are just more gimmicky and fun, but if you have nothing else, just run it, I guess. But the basic Ghostface build, and I recommend any starters who don't have that much in perks, this can help you out. All ears, thrilling trimmers, sloppy butcher, and whispers. This is the most beginner basic build that you can do. All ears and thrilling trimmers come with Ghostface, so you're already set on that. Sloppy and whispers are free perks, but you're asking yourself, what's the standard Ghostface build that you feel that a lot of Ghostface players run? Well, obviously, you're gonna run Pop, goes to Weasel, because again, you're a killer that has no map pressure, meaning that you cannot get to point A to point B fast. So you're gonna need something to slow it down. I recommend Pop. Second perk that a lot of Ghostface players use is Sloppy. Third perk, obviously, nurses to see while they're healing. And the last perk is always barbecue and chili. I recommend barbecue chili on almost every killer because you're going to get more points. But if you don't have barbecue, obviously, you can run thrilling trimmers. M1 only build that a lot of Ghostface players run. Ruin, Thatophobia, Sloppy, and Nurses. This means that you're not going to stalk. This means that I'm going to rush in your face and hit you and don't even bother stalking. Again, that's up to you if you want to play Rush M1 Ghostface. Not that many people like playing against that because there's no fun in it. You know, while you're stalking, I think it's more fun. So again, it's up to you. Now you're asking yourself, what's my build? Well, a lot of people know me that I'm known for barbecue, pop, save the best for last, and enduring. Sometimes I'll switch out enduring or save the best for last for corrupt, depending if I feel that I'm facing a very strong group and I need more time to slow down the game. Now you're asking yourself, why save the best for last? A lot of people always ask me why save the best for last on Ghostface. I don't use recovery add-ons as much. If I feel like I need it, I'll put it on and I'll take off save the best for last. It counters the long cooldown I have with Ghostface of waiting 30 seconds to use my power. Therefore, they're gonna always know that I'm coming because I have to wait so long to get my power back. So I might as well have a perk to help me out in chase. Ghostface doesn't have the best chase mechanics, so Ghostface needs something to help him out in chase at times. For me, I like to use save the best for last because it's helped me out so many times in end game situations, and it's actually really good against survivor friends who spam the borrowed time, you know, unsafe hooks, that, you know, the ones that just go for the unhooks right off the bat when you're just there. Save the best for last can help you out in that situation, but I only recommend it if you have level 3 save the best for last. If you have level 1 and 2, I don't recommend it because you're just gonna be wasting a slot. I recommend either enduring or sloppy in that situation. So again, save the best for last is only worth it on Ghostface if you're running one recovery add-on or none. My other favorite build I like to run is Surge, Surveillance, Pop, and Barbecue. I just find that very fun. You get the tracking on Surveillance. Surveillance is really good on Ghostface because it lets you know if they touched the gen after you kicked it or exploded with the Surge. But that is it, guys. That's all that I have for Ghostface. Hopefully this tips and tricks helped you out. Thank you so much for the love and support over the past couple weeks. This was a sub goal. I said if I reached 20K, I was going to put out a Ghostface video. Again, I apologize how slow it was, but I wanted to make this video very informative and very easy to understand. But yeah, go out there and stalk all the people that you can. And again, don't forget to come by the stream and let me know how you did. And I want to see your progression on Ghostface. We have a Discord that you can post anything on Dead by Daylight, and I would love to see your face there. Before I go, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Andy. Andy's another Twitch streamer that you guys can check out. He's also a killer main. He helped me out throughout this video. If you guys want to check out another killer main who means Bubba, you can check him out. The link to his channel will be in the description box. Again, thank you everybody for the love and support over the past couple weeks. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.